Joining me now is Daniella Squicquero with Engel Völkers. Thank you so much for being with us today. How are you?
Thanks for having me. As always, love being here.
So the weather's fantastic.
Yes.
Winter has become spring, or we're hot on the heels of spring.
It is getting there.
So the kind of old adage or old wisdom is to sell in the spring, right? So what's your take on that? Is that still true?
You know, a lot of it depends on the market, and a lot of realtors will tell you, yes, wait until wait to sell in the spring. But the fact of the matter is, you can sell a house any time of year. You may take a slight price cut depending on the demand in the market at any given time. But in our market, you know what happens a lot of times, and people don't think about it in this way, because when you live in a normal, primarily residential market, think a lot of the markets in the north, for example, people hemorrhage from those markets during the holidays, right?
Right.
So that's not when you want to put your house on the market, because you have the fewest possible buyers. In our market, where are all those people going?
Here.
Right?
Right.
So when you think about the sort of swings in the market, and of course all markets have an ebb and a flow, and ours certainly does too. But there's really never a bad time to put your house on the market. Now with that said, the springtime, because most people still believe that, you're going to have the most competition too. So you might get the highest price, but you're going to have the greatest competition. That's exactly right, because you have most inventory coming on right in those few beginning spring months.
Okay, so now if I'm committed to selling, right? I've got it in my head, spring's the time to sell.
Right.
And this is something I really want your input on. What are some tips? Because you know everyone's going out and making rookie mistakes on this. So tell us what we should be doing before we list our homes.
So here's what I want you to do. When you are thinking about selling, or even considering that you might and you want to go and get a valuation on your home, put your buyer's goggles on.
Yes,
okay?
right.
So pretend that you are walking through that house, because you were the buyer at one time.
Judge it harshly.
Exactly.
Right?
You were the buyer at one time, right? So walk through that property, get out of the car, drive around the block, and pretend that you're getting out of the car and seeing that house for the first time. Put those buyer's glasses on, and then you decide what needs to be done.
Now, and this is going to bring us to a topic that I also am fascinated with, which is pricing. Okay, because just like the goggles, the pricing. So tell us, you know, we obviously know it's important to have the right price, but can you tell us why, and then kind of how to get there?
Exactly. So you need to be working with someone who really understands how to price in your individual market, and then also what to look for, right? So you're almost looking for, now I'm not an appraiser, but you're almost looking for something like a light duty appraisal. You want to be able to understand, or have a real estate professional that understands how to price in the market, how to adjust for certain features or lack of certain features, and which ones actually matter. You know, in our market, pools matter. Up north, pool's probably not going to add that much value depending on the property, right? So it all depends. So it's a real understanding of the market and understanding how that price shakes out. Now, everybody gets, we're talking a little bit off air, right? People get what we call kind of these pricing goggles.
Yes.
And when they're looking at buying a house, it's awful. It's obviously a fixer, right? So you want to gouge that person. When they're looking at selling a house, it's the best house on the street, right? My house is special because of X, Y, and Z. Fact of the matter is, there is a science to this. There is also an art to this. And you need somebody that is expert in that in order to provide you with the proper pricing range. Now, with that said, not a lot of agents get the appropriate training on the concept of pricing. That's something that's super important. And shameless plug here, I'm actually a pricing strategy advisor. I am the only one in the Low Country south of Charleston.
Fantastic. Daniella, as always, it's a pleasure when you're here. Thank you so much for your time.